Blessings, everyone. It is great to be out here today. It's overcast day, which is my type of weather, y'all. I love when it's overcast. It's not too hot, not too cold, but it's just right. I wanted to finish off our topic on my experience with the wood chips. And for me, I feel like it's very important that we have mulch. Where I live at in Zona Beach, California, our climate is considered Mediterranean, whereas it gets extremely hot. And it doesn't rain until here where I live about mid to late October. And this time, for the first time ever since I've been out here in California, close to 8 years, I believe, it never rained in the month of August. And it never ever rained in the month of September. Last night, as we are now in September, it rained last night, and it also rained in the month of August. So it is our first for those who have told me that have been born in California and lived in California for a long time. Yes, it rained. Unusual weather for everyone throughout the world. Now, my experience with wood chips, it decomposes too fast and turns to soil, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. But for those who are new to gardening and you want to know about wood chips and how you can get free wood chips, well, let me start off by saying you can get free wood chips if you call your county. Okay, that's one way, and that was done more than as you hear of this thing called chip drop. Chip drop is new. For those who are wondering, it's only been out, I would say, 3 years ago. I can't say the word, but you know what I'm talking about. And so now it's a very popular way of getting free wood chips. But back in the day, you had to talk to an arborist. A tree arborist is a person who cut down trees that are dead or that are dying, or that's in the way of space. Okay, or they're cutting down branches because that branch is in the way, etc. That's who an arborist is. They take care of trees. And so what you will see arborists do, especially in an urban environment or in the woods, you will see them cut down a tree, okay, and they'll use an industrial chipper. Unlike the chippers you see an individual use, you will see them use an industrial chipper, and they'll take that log, okay, very carefully. It will go into that chipper, and you'll start to see it turn into chips, and it will go into a dump truck, okay? And what they'll do, they'll take it to a location and drop it off. Okay, that's the way to do it. Now, you can go ahead and ask for the wood chips, and they'll say yes, and they'll drop it off in the front of your house, and that's the number way they'll do it normally. But if you have enough space for them to get into your yard, they can also drop it in your backyard, or they'll leave it on the side of the yard where you live. And most of the time, if you're in an urban environment, it's in front of your driveway or in front of your house. Okay, so be good to the arborists because they can help you out. My experience with wood chips is that I will go into my in my area and pick up free wood chips. That's how I do it. And what I'll do is I'll pick them up, load it up in my vehicle, and there you go. I got it, and I use it for mulch. That's the way I do it. But how does it happen? Well, a log, when you go into the woods, or a tree, for example, will have to take several years for it to break down. I have had this about for 5 years in my family's garden, used in so many different ways, okay, as a prop, etc. But when you get wood chips, it only takes several months. Why? Because you have a mixture of new, okay, as you see here, guys, and old wood chip that will form and start to sting, okay, when they are piled up together. And sometimes you just don't have wood chips in there. You also have, for example, a leaf, okay, leaves from that tree that's also mixed in, okay, and it'll start to steam up. And it will, once it steams up, it's starting to break down and then break down. The more you dig in, the more it's hot. Mind you, it could be very hot, so be careful. But when you keep digging in and digging and digging, you start to see black matte on black wood chips, and it's getting darker and darker and darker. And then once you get to that bottom, that is the humus, the gold, black gold that you want in your soil. That is considered healthy soil. Now, what will happen, okay, is that the wood chip will also form this white, there's no white substance on here, but let's pretend a white substance. Okay, that's why something is healthy. It's called mycelium. That mycelium actually feeds the soil and it gives it good nutrients, okay, to develop a healthy soil. And what happens is the roots of the vegetation that you're growing or that you see, okay, that has that layer of mulch, it starts to pick up all those nutrients into the roots, and the roots will start talking to the mycelium talking to the roots, and that's how it happens. Okay, you'll get a healthy tree. Now, what is the con of wood chips? Well, for some people, okay, they will say the con would be it breaks down too fast. That's number one. Number two, it will take up too much nitrogen. How does that happen? Here is number two, the con. That is your wood chips have gotten mixed in with your soil. Now, there is a disclaimer about that because of the fact that the wood chips will actually end up mixing in your soil, but you just don't want too much. And I'm going to remove this and put this in my compost. Actually, I can eat this, but I don't want it. But what will happen is the wood chips will basically mix in. Too much wood chips will mix into your soil, and it will take up the nitrogen in your soil, and it will turn the leaves yellow. That is a no-no. Okay, but again, it's okay for just a tiny bit of wood chips to mix in. Okay, but you don't want to till in okay your wood chips. You want it to actually gradually and slowly remove every wood chip, okay, from that location of where you have your vegetable planted or your fruit tree or whatever you're growing, and actually move it away. And if you're going to add your fertilizer, your compost, then you want to go ahead and do that. But you don't want to till or mix in wood chips into your soil, because it will take up the nitrogen and will kill your vegetation that you're growing. Okay, so I'm going ahead and still remove some of these yellow leaves that's here and some of these dead leaves here, and I'm going to take this what's here and I'm going to put it in my compost bin now. Now I have my food scraps here. You see I have my wood chips there too, but for me I have a mixture in this Ziploc bag of food scraps of fruits, vegetables, and my used coffee grinds. And sometimes I also talk about using the pulp of the fruit from juicing or the vegetables. You can use that too, and it will decompose even faster. But as you can see, I'm laying wood chips, and wood chips is great if you don't have any other carbon like cardboard or grass, dry grass and whatnot. You could use wood chips. Okay, a great way and benefit in your garden. Okay guys, so I have some Detroit beets here, and what I'm going to do is, direct sow. I'm just going to scatter some of these beet seeds in here, and in my hand I'm just going to just throw them in like so and just let it be. And my soil is already wet, because it rained again. And so I wonder it rained, okay y'all, so I don't really have to worry so much. And what I can do is, now I can add some more water to this, which I'm not, but another thing you can do to get a good germination is basically layer either some plastic on top of your soil. You could also use cardboard, and I learned this from Honey Farm from North Carolina. I believe they're in North Carolina. That's their method of getting great germination for beets, and also I used it for carrots several years, about 2 years ago or a year ago. So that's a good way to allow your soil also to stay moist. Or I'll come over here and just take a layer of my wood chips and just layer just a little bit on top like so. And there you go.